Hey everybody, couple of things before we begin. First off, download the Chill Lover radio app. You can find it on iTunes and Google Play. It is an independent online radio station, and it streams live music programs as well as podcasts like Collateral Cinema and Collateral Gaming. So check them out. You can find them wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check us out on that platform as well. So download now. And our podcast shout out for this episode is the brand new podcast from the crew at Channel Awesome. That's right. That's Doug Walker, Rob Walker, and the gang. It is fronted by Walter Benaziek, and it is called the Fanscription Podcast, where they take a look at certain movies, like, for instance, their latest episode is Mary Poppins, and they try to fix the problems that they see with the script and everything. So check them out. It's very, very interesting. Check out the Channel Awesome website and also subscribe to them on their YouTube channel. They're pretty well known, but yeah, check them out. And with that, on with the show. I'm Beau Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Dakota Chancellor.
This is Collateral Cinema. Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, be it blunts, be it bongs, be it joints, smoke it if you've got it. How's it going, guys?
Oh, it's going okay. How you doing? How's everybody else doing?
Oh, how about y'all, Chancellors?
I'm still in shock from this movie.
Still in shock. I mean, I guess shocking is an appropriate word for it, if not a little, what's the term, schlocky?
Schlocky.
Total schlock, right? And of course, we're talking about not just Leprechaun Returns, which is the latest movie in the Leprechaun series, but we're going to talk about Leprechaun as a whole, the series as a whole.
Franchise in general, yeah. We just kind of sum it up for you guys. If I know our two other co-stars have not seen the whole franchise. Right?
Yeah, we have not. It's really interesting because you talked about maybe doing an episode later, maybe like on the fourth one.
We were talking about Leprechaun in Space, just maybe doing just
that sounds fun.
A full episode on that one.
Yeah, I read the plot synopsis on that one, and needless to say, it gets pretty out of hand.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, this movie was actually a lot gorier than I thought it would be, right, guys?
Yeah, I mean, well, here we are, Collateral Cinema, doing another hilarious, gory flick, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of becoming a little bit of a trademark of ours, you know? I mean, especially going back to season 1.
Yeah.
And this movie also is kind of like the first movie that we did on this season, the Halloween reboot, Halloween 2018, in that it takes place 25 years from the first movie.
Resetting the continuity of all the movies in between, right? Just like Halloween.
Just like Halloween. It's the same thing. They just completely did away with all of the fucking sequels. They just went ahead and made an entirely new narrative just based off of what happened in the first movie.
It definitely connects better with the events of the first movie, though, than the actual part 2 and the sequels do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, part 2 and pretty much all of the Leprechaun sequels, they kind of stand on their own, right?
Yeah, it's its own thing. It's like breaking away from Bride of Chucky. You know, you go to Seed of Chucky, and then, you know, what comes after the Seed of Chucky? Like, I really don't know anymore.
I haven't seen any.
You know, it's just like just having fun with their own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't really remember what came after Seed of Chucky.
I don't remember either.
And honestly, I only remember...
Oh,
what's that?
Cult of Chucky? It's stuff that went straight to Redbox, right? I remember
Netflix, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Curse, the Cult, and then now we got the new reboot, right?
Yeah, I've seen
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, the
Mark
trailers
Hamill
for
boot,
that, and
yeah.
of course, knowing that Mark Hamill's going to be... Oh, that sounds awesome.
That is going to be very much classic. I mean, Mark Hamill, he's a consummate actor and consummate voice actor, and him doing Chucky, that seems like a pretty logical choice.
Oh, right. Totally.
I mean, Brad Dourif, yeah, I mean, he is Chucky, but
No, it always will be. But
yeah.
what I was wondering is, like, the little kid that's playing Andy, is he too old to have a doll? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Look how.
I mean, I guess we'll see when that movie comes out. I mean, it's kind of part of a recent spate of horror reboots. I mean, especially since like It Chapter 2.
the same producers off of It.
Yeah, it's the
exactly.
same producers. And this movie right here fits into that. You know, once again, doing the aforementioned, ignoring all the sequels in between this movie and the first movie.
Yeah, just cutting all the bullshit and going straight to right after the fact.
Yeah, it just pretty much goes straight from the 90s to today. Then.
Yeah.
And then the first movie was a quintessentially 90s movie, right?
Oh, early I think it was filmed in 91 and released in 1993.
Yeah.
I remember watching this sort of, the early days of Blockbuster, just going to rent all of them.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing all of these movies on VHS at Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, the mom and pop place I went to, Latest and Greatest Video. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I haven't grown up with this movie like you guys did, but I can definitely see why y'all could see that nostalgic feel or, feel that way. I can tell this is kind of a movie that can easily not get lost in time,
Yeah, an old Trimark 90s.
Right.
Yeah, speaking of nostalgia, I actually had heard about this movie from the first time from the Nostalgia Critic review regarding the very first one, Leprechaun, and just that ending catchphrase. That's the only clip I could remember was "Fuck you, Lucky Charms."
Yeah,
It's
that's-
very much a classic quote, right,
It's pretty
guys?
much a trademark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this movie has its own plethora of classic one-liners as well.
Eat a dick, ass Baggins.
Oh my God! and that was such an obvious allusion to the original movie. I think.
Oh, yeah,
That's
totally.
I mean,
really
yeah,
funny.
they had to have that one little "fuck you" to the Leprechaun.
Slight continuity error. Early on in the film, the Leprechaun is going through the cereal boxes, and it says Lucky Clover, so as not to
Advertise other brands without asking for their
not
permission.
not to
Yeah,
promote
yeah.
the
Exactly.
trademark without their permission, right?
Like Kellogg's are Frosted Flakes.
Right, because they have to pay for that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But then the kid later says Lucky Charms, so
Yeah.
there's kind of a
There you go. Eat your Lucky Charms.
That was in the first one.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is pretty easy, is because I think that most of that was actually reshoots, right?
Yeah.
Then they do a bunch of reshoots because they wanted to kind of up the more adult oriented stuff and some of the more humorous elements as well.
Yeah.
Because I think at first it was meant to be kind of a kids movie, from what I remember.
Supposed to be.
I heard it was supposed to be a straight up horror, but
Yeah.
then Warwick Davis added in the humor.
His humor.
Yeah,
His own
yeah,
humor.
yeah. I could be mistaken. It could be the other way around. I'm not entirely sure about that.
It could be just pitching different directions all the way around, and he decides to create his own character.
It's kind of hard to believe that the humor wasn't intended though, because it's not only on Warwick Davis's part. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah,
there's several
yeah.
other humorous dialogue and plot points in the movie, and the whole thing is just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that could be an unintentional humor thing, because that's something that I think Leprechaun's kind of really well known for, is both intentional and unintentional humor in
And
some ways.
we all know that unintentional humor is just as funny.
And
Yeah.
and that's what
Not more
created.
funny.
And a lot of that, it kind of goes back to the writing in this series. I mean, the writing in this movie, Leprechaun Returns, is not really the greatest thing that I've
It's
heard.
like the
Yeah.
room of leprechauns. I don't know.
Something like that.
Oh, well, you can give the 90s movies a pass because, they haven't aged as well. But when I watched the 2018 movie with the same, bad writing, it really struck out to me. But it's also, I guess, kind of the charm in its own way, making
Yeah.
it so ridiculously.
What sold it was
Entertaining.
the Warwick Davis impersonation
Oh, yeah, totally.
of doing that, dude. I mean, that was
What
pretty spot on.
And
Yeah,
the priceless puns, I mean,
Yeah.
that was totally worth it.
That's something that I saw as a common current amongst most of the reviews on YouTube and on certain podcasts, is that a lot of people at first thought that was Warwick Davis.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah.
They really did, and they couldn't really tell after a little while until they actually looked a little closer that it wasn't. It was this. What was his name?
I'm looking it up right now, actually.
It's
It's
right
Lindon Norco.
Lindon Norco. Yeah. And he kind of approximates Warwick Davis's performance rather well, I think. I mean, the voice can be a little grating at times, but it's pretty close to what Warwick was doing in the previous movies.
The character remained completely on brand and
It's what's his face? I'm sorry.
From Friday.
What's his name?
From Friday. We once
Bad
again, we
Santa.
have the movie playing in the background.
We're watching
and-
Leprechaun 2 right
Yeah,
now.
the second one.
Yeah.
And what's this guy's name? Midget black
this
dude.
is This is a little
From Friday and
this is a little black dwarf, of course.
from Friday and Santa, Bad Santa.
Yeah. He was in Bag Santa. This movie pretty much has quite a few little people actors. Like oh my God, there's like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them
Jeez.
here in this scene. That's weird. Okay, what's the guy's name? Tony Cox. That's it. Tony Cox.
Tony Cox, right on, man. And yeah, he's kind of a legend in his own right in many ways, I think.
Oh yeah, you
he's-
said Bad Santa. That was Billy Bob Thornton and him. I remember that.
And he was
Bernie Mac.
pretty much a straight up
All of
supporting.
them
He was
with
pretty
Bernie
much a
Mac, yeah.
supporting character in that movie.
Right, he was. He was really
Like
important in that
a
one.
full on supporting character.
Yeah, him and Bernie Mac that worked prior to that was Friday, the first Friday, right?
Yeah.
So they were familiar with each other.
Yeah. He was like Bernie Mac was sleeping
when he-
around with
yeah.
with Tony Cox's wife.
Remember when
and when he comes
out?
home, it's so perfect.
That is hilarious. He gets the brick, throws it through the windshield. Like,
But yeah, I mean, it's good to see some memorable actors like that in this movie. And of course, the first movie had Jennifer Aniston in it. That was her first role, I believe.
yeah, it was her
First movie role.
feature,
yeah.
featured role.
First featured movie role, I should
Yeah.
say.
And-
Excuse me.
they weren't able to get her back for any of the sequels, right?
Not
No.
even her voice.
They never asked her back for any, or the cast, the original cast. They
Didn't
never
they-
asked him back for any of the sequels.
Didn't
Except-
they try asking her back for Leprechaun Returns?
They
But
did.
she was just busy.
She was doing another film.
Probably what? Sex and the City 2?
She's not
Not
on
really
Sex
sure.
in the City. Shut the fuck up. You're thinking Sarah Jessica Parker.
I know I am, but that's the point.
Oh, you
Sarah
motherfucker.
Jessica Parker is Ferris Bueller's husband, right? What's his name?
Ferris Bueller's husband. What?
Matthew Broderick, right? His husband.
Matthew Broderick's husband.
That's Ferris Bueller.
Husbando.
Husbando.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know
But-
what you said, but I'm repeating what you said. Sorry.
Even though
Oh, man, we're going off the rails really quick.
Wasn't she in Marley and Me? She was the woman, right?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
I think
she started
so.
with commercials like Drew Barrymore did.
Yeah.
You know,
What was Jennifer Aniston's first actual role?
probably a commercial, but she did like 2 years of 80s TV show series before she got on Leprechaun.
You wouldn't happen to know what that...
I do not
series is
remember. I do not remember that, but I know she got her start because both her parents are both actors and actresses. You know,
Oh,
her mother and
okay.
the father. So she had her way in the door already.
So it's an actor family.
It's she pretty much her
Just
way.
like the Baldwins.
exactly all Baldwins.
Dear God, the Baldwins.
And I just got done watching the original Flatliners,
Oh shit!
and that was one of the younger Baldwins, right? Like
Fuck. Fucking Baldwins all over the place.
that was
Right?
that was 1990. I'm like, dang. Kevin
Oh, and
Bacon.
you can't forget Clint Howard.
Yeah, Clint Howard
cannot
makes an
forget.
appearance in the second movie. Not
Yeah.
in the first movie, in the second movie.
Pretty strange.
And it's always great to have Clint Howard in your movie.
I mean, that made House of the Dead way better.
Yeah. His
Clint Howard
presence,
makes everything better.
his
Oh.
presence in that movie made that so much more entertaining.
Clint Howard is a real actor. Yeah.
There you go.
He really is a serious actor, straight up.
I mean,
And-
he was in the Rob Zombie reboot of Halloween.
Really?
He was one of the psychiatrists for a second, right? With talking with Brad Dourif. Remember that?
yeah.
And-
I remember.
That role was pretty serious. I mean, just
It
for
was.
the short amount of time he was in there. I mean,
The Leprechaun movies is like 8 movies strong, right?
yeah. There's 8 movies so far just in the franchise.
Yeah, it started in 1991. It spans like that's about how many years? Good 20 to 30 years.
All the way to Leprechaun Origins, dare I say. Sorry. Most people have not seen it. When I saw it, I just wanted to see what the Leprechaun looked like, and then I saw it, and then I freaking just
And
turned.
you just got
I
out.
just turned. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, you know what? I want to go back and watch the original 3 again.
There you go.
just go with the Warwick Davis movies.
Just go with Warwick Davis, dude. Don't go with somebody else trying to jock him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I suggested Returns, and you guys thought okay, is he just messing with me? Is this going to be good? You know,
I actually thought that you meant Leprechaun Origins.
Nah, I wouldn't have picked that. What the fuck is that? I didn't even watch it.
See, and that's how I was like, I mean, I know we do bad movies from time to time.
Yeah, we have to do everything else in between, right?
Yeah. But we got to actually focus on the meat and potatoes of this series.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Leprechaun 2 is very entertaining. I mean, it's an interesting story. Starts off in Ireland at what time? In like medieval times or something like that?
It's probably like 1,000 years, and then he's got to wait another 1,000 years to his birthday to get married. Remember that?
Yeah. Is it a straight sequel to the first one, or is it a prequel, do you think?
It really could be anywhere in the timeline, right? I mean,
Right.
it's not specified. The events are completely disconnected.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Because they don't even use the original cast from the first film. In fact,
The first one, what
we
he's
don't
talking
even
about is the dating towards the second one and the first one.
The point I'm making is that I'm pretty sure that most all of these movies in this series are very much like standalone movies in
Right.
their own right.
They stand on their own, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
it's just the only real undercurrent of the entire series is the Leprechaun.
The luck of the Irish is being packed and shipped to a little town in South Dakota whose luck may have just run out.
My ear! He got my ear!
You got the back door, right?
Ow!
You gotta stop the bleeding. Oh my God, it's in the cabinets.
Toward the basement, toward the basement.
We're like really scared. Hello? I need the police. This is an emergency.
You can kill anything.
What the hell are you?
You just gotta know how to do it.
Leprechaun.
It's out. It's out of the crate.
The only thing they didn't do was probably time travel, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly. I guess if this really was, one where if it was in continuity, it would have to be a prequel. That's the only thing I could think of it,
I mean, if you wanted to establish the continuity in Leprechaun Returns,
Right.
and fit all these into it, you could, because you could say these adventures happened at earlier points, I guess.
Because they talk
'Cause-
about the guy in the first one bringing him from Ireland.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Returns is, I guess, the only movie that kind of actually does have any kind of continuity with any of the other films, which is the first one.
Right.
It's the only one they even and it picks up after those events 25
Literally
later.
right after.
Right after.
And the first movie to actually, to have an actor come back and reprise their role other than Warwick Davis. And that was Mark Holton as Ozzy Jones.
Ozzy, yeah.
brought back
He's such
Ozzy,
such a memorable character right there, right?
From Pee Wee Herman and I don't know if you guys seen Michael J. Fox's Teen Wolf.
I have not seen it.
I
1985.
fucking love Teen Wolf.
I love Teen Wolf, dude.
Yeah, Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox.
Back to the Future, filmed both movies the same year. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox played a fucking werewolf.
Oh my God, yeah.
It is
and,
pretty
and,
cool.
and it wasn't a horror movie. It was
Not
a
that-
straight up teen comedy.
Not that MTV, you see Teen Wolf, the original Teen Wolf.
They tried to make it into like a young adult drama or some shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Twilight.
Right,
Yeah.
but
It's
back to Ozzy, he was such a great character.
And then
he
Yeah,
really
but
brought a lot.
Look
No,
at
yeah.
his opening scene, man.
Yeah.
Just one of the first things that, well, not his opening scene, but one of the first things that happens to his character early in the movie is the leprechaun straight up rips out of his stomach
Right.
Yeah.
and grabs the gold coin he swallowed
coin.
in the first one. I don't know why it's still in his stomach 25 years later.
but
hand wave.
But even so, even with the hand wave, it still really feels like a clever way to actually
Acknowledge
tie the
the
two,
events.
Yeah.
tie the two movies together
To
and
bring 'em back.
to bring the Leprechaun back.
I was impressed with that because the other movies don't even really explain how the Leprechaun is back or any of that. This movie directly references his death and subsequently, shows the revival from that.
Yeah, his resurrection. Yeah.
Not only that, but there's some minor things in there. Like I noticed the eye colors were changed because he stole that guy's eye in the first one.
Yeah,
the first
that's
one,
right.
and then the returns. He steals another eyeball.
He steals another eyeball.
That's what's cool as hell, dude.
So that
Oh,
was
man.
another good callback too.
Yeah, and also more of those awesome gore effects in this new movie.
Of course.
Oh yeah, like right away he puts the mailbox gets the mailbox on the guy's head, and then he drives it over, and then the blood just splurts out of the mailbox.
Gushes out. Classic sci-fi channel.
Andy,
Not to-
Andy gets his whole body sliced in half by a solar panel.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! And then the guy that gets decapitated by his own drone, Matt.
Oh, man.
Oh, bad.
But I mean, honestly, we'd be remiss if we didn't admit that a lot of those gore scenes, a lot of those kill scenes were really kind of like callbacks to other
It was
movies.
taken,
Right.
It was taken from another movie.
Like,
exactly.
like the solar panel death was very much 13 Ghosts all the way.
With the French door glass just shutting on the dude and
Yeah.
cutting him in half, and you see the brain just
Golly.
right in the glass, dude.
That's
That is pretty cool.
That was a cool effect because in the 13 Ghost movie, because it was glass and
Yeah.
and you could actually see like first his front half kind of sliding down while the other half stayed in place.
It went with it, dude. Like you see the
Where
brain.
this one, it just kind of peeled off of the solar panel a little
Right.
bit. And we'll go ahead and just hand wave the fact that the solar panels aren't necessarily sharp enough to do
Yeah.
that. It probably would have just conked it on the head really good and killed him like that.
It still would have
Probably.
killed him, but it wouldn't have halved him. Like,
Yeah,
No,
that
no.
was a little
Split 'em.
implausible.
Yeah, but I mean, it still made for a great kill.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the kill count episode on this on YouTube, and it was actually really, really entertaining. It was a good way to really kind of introduce myself to this movie and to its gore effects and everything. And I mean, in many ways, there's some of the kills you really kind of feel a little bit, like you do feel bad for Ozzy, of course.
Well, when
Oh,
Rose
yeah.
dies with the shovel, the golden shovel
Yeah.
in the head.
And-
God,
and-
that's miserable.
And she actually kind of puts up a fight against.
Oh,
right,
she
you almost
does.
think she's gonna win because she's like, "I'm gonna get you."
And that's in a scene that's totally, once again, a callback. It's a callback to Army of Darkness.
there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the scene with the Lilliputian characters.
They're all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, and you even get a silly little joke. You get the hammer time joke, which is
Hammer
just
time.
like,
Yes.
NC Hammer.
isn't that like 2000 and late right there? In so many
That's
ways.
totally
But
lit.
it was fucking awesome. And the only part that rivaled its awesomeness was seeing that bitch Meredith get killed with the water sprinkler. And I don't
God,
mean to say
yes.
that to objectify her as a woman. No, I mean she's literally a bitch to all the other characters. She's just rude. And she tries to sacrifice her friends. So
Yeah,
See,
she left one of
Yeah,
her
that's
friends for dead.
Mara, right?
Meredith.
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 Right, and at the beginning, I was actually like rooting for her. I was like, she's a fun character. I mean, she's kind of an asshole, but she's a fun character. She's probably
Yeah.
gonna be alive. And then you realize that she makes a deal with the leprechaun. And you're like, oh fuck you.
And then she leaves Lila for dead, right?
Right,
that-
that's
that-
such an asshole move.
That's what you would call kind of a face heel turn, but you kind of see it coming though, right?
right.
Yeah.
But then the sprinkler death.
Oh,
was
so
cool.
so fucking perfect. I mean, we needed a scene like that.
that
in
was
this movie.
pretty cool, dude.
And it was satisfying.
Just a good humorous kill scene.
Not only that, but what's funny is the leprechaun promises her, and they make a contract that he won't lay a hand on her if she sells her friends out, and he acknowledges that he's going to keep that promise. He won't lay a hand on her, but he kills her anyway,
Falls
which
her.
we all saw coming. It was so predictable,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
awesome.
I wouldn't lay a hand on you, but I didn't say I wouldn't kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's just that kind of wordplay that's associated with that character,
Trickster, yeah.
It's kind of a Macbethian thing,
A little bit, yeah.
or
Shakespearean, you should say.
Return of the King. I am no man kind of moment.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
there you go.
the language technicalities as like a plot point. I don't know.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, just the deal that he makes with her. I mean, you know that he's not going to fucking honor it in any way.
Yeah, I mean, he's Rumpelstiltskin, basically.
Oh,
I have a feeling he would find that very offensive. just like he found being called a troll offensive, which is hilarious to me.
The trolls beneath him. That's funny.
And maybe that's a little bit of a callback to Troll 2. Maybe just a little bit. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God.
Do you think he's a cannibal? Isn't that what they say in the first one? And the newest one?
I don't know. I don't think that's nowhere near his motivation in any of these movies.
His motivation is his gold.
His gold. He wants his fucking gold.
It's gold.
Just give him his damn gold.
Just give him his goddamn gold. It's like, why even keep it from him? You give him his gold, he'll go away and whatever.
Problem is at any point in the movie, it was like they couldn't do anything about it. Like one was in some guy's stomach that they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Or they're missing a few coins.
Yeah, and
there's no way of getting it
new
back.
One, it's in a whole new state, which looks like they led up to in the new movie.
Yeah, it's
They
because
kinda set up a sequel.
that one girl actually found the gold like months ago. And
Months
sold
prior to the actual events in the movie, and she used them and sold them for money to
rebuild the house.
I'm right.
Sorority
I mean,
house.
I don't know. I find a bag of gold coins. What would be the pertinent thing to do there?
take all of them.
Take all of them.
You would think that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
would
like, in
think
your
that
situation,
You know what I would think? You know what the smartest person would think?
What?
take it and bury it.
That somebody's going to come looking for this.
Somebody's coming looking for this. Yeah, basically you're getting into a No Country for Old Men type of scenario.
I can't have this.
No, you
I
can't.
have this.
No, you can't have that.
I'm dead if I have this.
Yeah, it's like you find a briefcase full of money, you leave it the fuck alone.
It doesn't belong to me.
No.
I'm dead. You know?
Yeah.
Briefcase full of drugs, you definitely leave that shit alone.
Right.
Somebody wants that money.
It's like, no,
It doesn't-
I'm just
yeah.
going to let whoever owns this find it.
The first thing you have to
Let them
think of.
find it.
The first thing you have to think of is somebody's going to come looking for it.
Take just
Yeah,
one
exactly.
stack of
Okay.
cash. Is that okay? Just
No,
one stack?
not
They
even
won't
that.
know. They won't
That's
know.
dead. That's still death, bro.
If you take one coin out of the leprechaun
You're right.
stash, what happens?
He comes after you wanting his coin back.
Oh, he knows. He ain't stupid.
He's not stupid. He counts his shit and he knows that you have it. I mean, he pretty much almost has a telekinetic kind of bond with his gold.
They
right?
mentioned that in the first movie, or the second movie with the map. That's what it was. And the map,
that's
and it
right.
said telekinetic. I was like, what?
Yeah. The map is kind of an interesting conceit in this movie.
Right. They kind of show plots that weren't shown in the first movie to kind of tie in again how they, left a map for the gold, which is really
that was
interesting.
weird. It's like you made a map from 1993 and it still looks brand new into a brick wall. That's funny.
It looked tattered up, but yeah, it
I'm
was
surprised they went to that much trouble. There's another surprising thing about that too, is that all the characters in the first film survived, whereas this film has the more of that final girl vibe, like you would think, where the characters get killed one by one.
Yeah, kind of, sorta. I mean, Lila, she survives, but doesn't Katie survive as well? Or does she die?
She does survive. She just survives with the shard of glass in her back.
Let's not forget
Double final girl.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's not forget
Two
the
women.
previous movie that we did was Slumber Party Massacre. There were three final girls in that
Yeah.
movie. So
Yeah.
It was almost
Or
three final
Halloween.
girls in this. You're
Or
right.
even, you're right. Even Halloween, that had three final girls.
It had
3 generations.
all
three
three
generations. All
of
three.
Strode.
Yeah, that was 3 generations of final girl right there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool parallel. Pretty cool.
It really was.
Oh, and bro, if we're talking about crazy kill scenes,
Remember the Iron Safe?
yes. No, what I'm saying is like the alien scenes where he comes out of their stomach.
Oh,
That
that's
happens
weird.
to Ozzy, and it happens to
look at
this guy
that.
right here.
Yeah, this is happening. Dude, the pot of gold is right in his stomach right now. Dude.
This motherfucker.
What the fuck?
Look at that.
It's a toilet, it looks like.
He's
But,
like,
oh my god.
he's like, I wish for your pot of gold.
But
He captured him. He gave him 3 wishes, and he's all like,
this is still Leprechaun 2. Leprechaun 3 takes place in Las Vegas,
Las Vegas. It's where the gold, having the gold coins and
Yeah.
wishing on each gold coin.
right? Yeah. That's the first one to bring wishes into the fold, right?
Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, each gold coin is 1 wish. I mean, there's rules that they set in the third one.
I remember the most notable thing about that is doesn't the main protagonist, the dude in that movie, like isn't he like cursed to turn into a leprechaun or something like that?
He bit him. Remember when he bit him and then he stabbed him in the forehead?
Yeah,
and the blood leprechaun blood just dripped all over the butt.
Oh,
It turned him into like half leprechaun. I mean,
What?
he was pretty much becoming a leprechaun.
That's crazy because it adds kind of a body horror element
Yeah.
to
Which movie is this?
This is
Leprechaun
part
3.
Part 3.
Part 3, the one after this one.
Las,
Okay.
Las Vegas. I mean, we
And
should
then-
watch that too.
But then after that movie is the most, probably the most notable movies of these first 4. Fucking goddamn Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yeah, that got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, but oh my god, it's such an inexplicable fucking movie.
I want to watch those.
when we were watching the reviews, it said that it all sucked. But I had to show Beau like, dude, this is Leprechaun 4, and then
I kind of fell in love with it. I'm not gonna
no,
lie.
you're right. I mean, I instantly became attached to it because I rented this from Blockbuster when it came out.
Yeah.
I was new to it, due to that whole Starship Trooper thing that they were trying to do in 97.
Yeah,
right?
man.
I mean,
Why does this kid in the second movie look like one of the Columbine dudes?
Oh man. Why
They make him
even,
look like such a
why
high
even
school-
ask that question?
Yeah, looks like a high school teenage shooter. That's what he looks like.
He looks like Denny.
It looks like Denny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi, Denny.
Oh, hi, Denny.
yeah,
bull-
no, you're right.
with a bull
Yeah, Denny
haircut.
looks like he could shoot up a school.
Oh my god.
I just want to watch you guys.
I just want to watch you guys.
And then after In Space was In the Hood, right?
In the hood. They went from
hood.
space to the hood. I don't know how you make that jump, but they
like-
did that.
Jason X going to the hood. Right?
I'm kind of glad they never made Jason in the Hood, man.
But,
I'm kind of
you
glad.
you guys need to see Jason X because that was a whole thing out of 99 and 2000.
That right there is pretty much Friday the 13th in space.
Going to space.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I watched the review on that. You showed me the Cinema Snob.
Yeah, it's the greatest fan film ever made, and we're going to do that movie eventually. I want to do that movie before we even do the first Friday the 13th. I just wanted to jump straight to Jason X. Hey everybody, we're going to take a break real quick, and I just wanted to remind you to download the Podcoin app, where you can listen to your favorite podcasts like Collateral Cinema and earn Podcoins, which you can use to purchase items such as gift cards from Amazon or Starbucks or Target, or you can take those Podcoins and donate them to charity, which honestly we highly encourage that you do. So check them out on iTunes, check them out on Google Play. Use the promo code Collateral to get 300 free Podcoins upon registration. So check them out, check us out on the Podcoin app, and now back to the show. Just like I kind of wanted to jump straight to Leprechaun 4 on this because I don't know why.
That's what we're going to do then.
That is such a weird movie. I mean, there's like that one conceit with the what is she, like a fucking princess or something?
She's like a princess of another planet.
And she's just as avaricious as the goddamn leprechaun. So they're pretty. He wants to marry her. It's pretty much a match made in hell, I guess.
This is terrible. It sounds terrible.
No, it's amazing. At what point the goddamn leprechaun is actually made ginormous, and he's just fucking.
What the fuck?
Oh, they shrink him, and then he's looking at his penis like, oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
goddamn. And speaking of penis, he actually comes out of one dude's erection. Like, I'm serious, when he's trying to get it on with one of the, I mean, it's essentially Space Marines, right?
when they blow him away, and then they're pissing on his head, and then he
Yeah.
comes back, dude.
They're pissing on his
He goes like this green orb goes right through this dude's body.
What the
and
fuck?
yeah, he pretty much he busts out of this dude's fucking groin.
As
And
soon
what
as
does
he gets erect with his
yeah, as soon as he gets an
girlfriend,
erection, and it's like, what does he say? He says like something about never engaging in sex without a prophylactic.
Oh my god, dude! There's so many weird sexual windows in that film. It's
Oh,
funny.
it's a very weird movie. And then there's the fucking sergeant guy who should have been played by Henry Rollins. I don't know why Rollins wasn't playing that role. Seems like he was fit for that. Or he was made for it.
damn.
But he puts on women's clothing and starts doing some kind of weird, what is it, like a dance or something?
Yeah, like a cyborg dance or a robot dance. That was weird.
That was very odd. Very, very odd movie. From there, that's where my awareness of Leprechaun kind of falls off. I never really watched the
I had
In
to
the
show you
Hood.
that because that is like late blockbuster. Sorry.
Man, I mean, I never really saw those movies, the In the Hood movies. And, of course, I mean, Leprechaun Origins came out after that, but I guess the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
better off not seeing it. Sorry.
done by WWE of all studios.
Yeah, and they make some good films from time to time. you know?
Was
Every now
Back
and
to
again.
the Hood kind of in the same vein as In the Hood? Was it a direct sequel?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Hood and Back to the Hood.
Just, your indie stoner film, really. Back to the Hood.
Is there a connection between those two in particular? Do they acknowledge that?
Okay, the first,
I don't know.
The first In the Hood, remember where it leaves off from the 70s and then T.I. captures them with the medallion?
I never saw these movies, so I wouldn't know.
I can't go into depth with you then. Fuck. Like T.I. is there and he throws the necklace over him. We see the necklace like in part 2 or part 3.
And of course,
in
most all those necklaces are made of pyrite.
Yeah. And yeah, the one in the Hood is like, is it a prequel? Because T.I. capturing the Leprechaun at the 70s.
Yeah.
Before the 90s even happens, right? I mean, yeah, you hadn't seen it. I can't really go into depth with you about that.
That's pretty funny.
Now, why do you guys think Jennifer Aniston never appeared in any of these sequels? Do you think that she's a little ashamed of the first movie, kind of?
That launched her career.
Didn't you say that but they never asked?
They never asked for her back.
Except until this one.
And
she was ready to come on board with this one. So I
Yeah.
guess she wasn't as ashamed as you would think.
I heard something to that effect, but it wouldn't surprise me if she would have been down to do more of these movies.
Right, and unfortunately, she couldn't make the newest movie, but they did have a voice, which actually wasn't hers either.
Her original character was supposed to be written on for this movie.
Right. Yeah.
And then the voiceover too.
Right.
But, that never happened. And it became somebody else's voice. Wasn't even close to Jennifer Aniston's.
Yeah.
And the main actress, the protagonist, she plays the daughter of Jennifer Aniston's character,
exactly.
Tori.
And her dead mother.
And she just so happens to go back to the same town her mother was at, to the same house with the same well.
Well, it's not just so happened. I think that was part of the plot.
Who never told her about...
Yeah, but doesn't the university own that?
They do now. They sold it.
The property?
They sold it to the university.
Yeah. So, I mean, what were, like, Jennifer Aniston's character and Ozzy, what were they thinking was going to happen there? I mean, just that the leprechaun was just going to stay dormant, or...
You know what I thought was weird, okay? If they wanted Jennifer Aniston on and they asked her on, and then she just had other conflicts, and she was still willing to do more movies, why did they write her character out? Like, why did they kill her off? I mean, now Jennifer Aniston can't show up in any sequels, right?
No.
Yeah, they could have just had her, in another state, just maybe just not doing so well, They could have kept her alive.
They killed her off because she's worth more in this film. Sorry.
That's probably true as well.
I mean,
this film's great though. I love B-list films. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I like them too, to a certain degree, just as long as they're not too shitty,
overdone, and
yeah.
This premiered on Sci-Fi Channel, right?
Yes, This is a sci-fi movie. The same people that gave us Sharknado.
This is a TV original movie.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, it never debuted in theaters. So
no, it didn't.
That kind of shows, I guess, the budget,
But honestly, I think this movie, it not only does it look pretty decent for a Sci-Fi Channel movie, the overall production values and the acting and everything, while the writing and some of the acting are kind of wonky, they are a little bit better than the normal sci-fi fare, I think.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's a far better movie than you would normally see on that channel.
It was almost like it was deliberately shitty writing. You can tell that they were doing a good job and they knew what they were doing, but it was deliberately terrible,
It could have been just the acting and directing.
And it could be, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, some of these actresses, it's only their third or fourth film,
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't really feel like a movie that's made for TV. It just doesn't really feel that way, right, guys?
Yeah, it does feel like a Hollywood movie, right? Like a theatrical release.
Yeah, or at least decent enough to be an okay straight to DVD release,
Yeah. Speaking of which, it hasn't gotten on DVD yet, has it?
I think the release date for Leprechaun Returns should be around June 11th, 2019.
So it's about to be released. So we actually did this episode just in time, I guess.
Just in time, and just before the year could end, before we can get our reviews out.
Yeah.
Now, several of the movies I found are actually described as black comedy from 2 through Back to the Hood, which is interesting given that, in other cases, it's more written just as a straight up, horror or slasher. If you look at least at like the Wikipedia articles. So in fact, the whole series as a whole is a horror comedy. So that's kind of interesting, right?
It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be memorable to just like watch over and over again. Like
right. And it is. I mean, I could watch this again. I mean, I'm watching the second one while we're doing this, and it's just as entertaining as the first one.
Exactly. See, the thing, you can just pick any one of them out and just have fun watching them too.
And like we said earlier, them being mostly standalone movies, I mean, you can pretty much jump into any of these films and actually still have a fun time, and you don't really need backstory or anything.
No.
Except for the fourth one. What?
Leprechaun in Space? No, you definitely don't need backstory for
serious?
that.
You don't need backstory for that one?
No, you don't.
But I see what you're saying, Ash. It's like, how has he become resurrected in every one of them?
Ash?
I guess every one of them.
Ash.
Are you calling me
I didn't
Ash?
call you Ash.
Yes, you did.
my
I said,
goodness.
I see what Ash is saying when he's saying, how is every one of them, how is he reborn in every one of them? I guess each one of them standalone is their own thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
They may take place in their own universes, or their own
exactly.
continuities.
Exactly.
Except for this one explicitly taking place after the original.
Yeah, this is the only movie that in this series that really has a direct link to each other.
Right.
I mean, the second movie doesn't even begin in any sense where the first movie left off.
Yeah.
No.
See, it's part 2, part 3, and then they don't make sense how he's reborn again.
Yeah,
No.
this isn't a Friday the 13th Part 2 scenario.
Exactly,
here.
where he becomes supernatural, struck by lightning or something.
or where the original protagonist pretty much picks up where she left off from the first movie, and she's just trying to deal with the trauma of everything. And
Yeah, but then doesn't she just die right away?
yeah, she does. She's killed off.
So it's just there kind of to preserve continuity and provide a little context, but that's it.
Yeah,
Just backstory,
more
really.
more or less.
That's interesting.
Yeah. These movies were pretty much driven by Warwick Davis's performance, right, Robert?
Yeah, it's what sold the entire franchise, like Robert Englund did with Friday the 13th.
Yeah, or what's his name who played Pinhead in Hellraiser?
Exactly.
Doug, what's his name?
Yeah, I forgot the actor's name. Sorry. My bad.
I think he played Pinhead for a little while, and then it became a different actor. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, also Tony Todd as the Candyman.
That's dedication, man. That's dedicating.
Yeah, Brad Dourif as Chucky. Now Mark Hamill.
That is throwing yourself into a role and just like committing, really.
It really is, and he really gets into this character. I mean, a lot of what makes the Leprechaun who he is, it is Warwick Davis and his decisions as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like inserting comedy into the first movie.
Yeah, and that pretty much set the tone for the character throughout the rest of the series, even all the way up to Leprechaun Returns.
I mean, it's a movie about a fucking leprechaun, though. Was it ever supposed to be serious?
Honestly, I don't think so.
I
mean,
were we supposed to ever take this serious?
right?
Yeah.
With all the puns and all the random comedic, that was important, and that was.
Then again, they did make a serious movie about the Tooth Fairy. Which one was that? What was the name of that again?
Oh shit, I don't remember, man. It's some random.
Was Dwayne Johnson the star? Okay.
Would have been hilarious if he was. I mean, shit.
Darkness Falls.
Darkness Falls. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't get clue into anything, but I saw that movie a long time ago. That was just, I don't know.
So they stab the leprechaun with a wrought iron. He blows up. Part 2.
Yeah, the insane ways that they have to, the links that they have to go to kill the leprechaun. Of course, this movie, they established the idea that if any part of the leprechaun remains, then the leprechaun stays alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Including gold coins, clearly.
Yeah, there's some kind of connection to the gold coins as well, and his hat, at the very end is still standing and allows for his in movie scene, which I guess would have been better as a post-credit scene, I think.
It probably would have been. It would have been a lot funnier.
It left it open for another sequel.
It did, and I'm sure there'll be another one of these.
That was interesting how in advance they went ahead and set that up for a future sequel. Now, the recent Halloween movie did not. I mean, we're like, there's no way Jason could ever... Sorry, not Jason. Michael Myers could ever get out of this. We're
gonna let that one slip right there.
Let that one slip because you do not know who these guys are. You don't know what they killed to is are what these guys
Oh
are
my
wearing.
God. No, but you know they're gonna bring Michael Myers back somehow. We said that in our Halloween episode.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, they're still going to find a way to do it again. They shouldn't. I think that needs to be the end of that series or that particular timeline.
No, you're right. If you've seen every Friday the 13th, you would think that, yeah, Jason is dead.
Right.
After the end of this one.
No shit. Yeah, especially after the end of Jason Goes to Hell.
But in the beginning of each one prior to, you just see the resurrection.
Yeah.
You know, like struck by lightning, something else happening. He becomes electrocuted. He becomes more supernatural than ever before.
But Jason's fate in Jason Goes to Hell is not even referenced in the next movie he's in, right?
I don't think so. What is the next movie that happened after that? It was pretty much Jason X, right?
See, yeah, that's Jason Goes to Hell is 1991.
And they were setting up Freddy versus Jason long before it ever happened.
But that was in development hell for quite a few years.
Jason X and then Freddy versus Jason, that was like something out of 2002, right?
Yeah.
That came out while I was a kid.
Yeah,
Dude,
I saw that at the movies,
Robert, would you believe that the main girl in Freddy versus Jason is 40 years old now?
Wow.
Literally just a few years older than me.
Freddy versus Jason. Oh, that blonde girl?
Yeah, the blonde girl.
I think I've seen her off of a few episodes of Entourage. Yeah, I know what you're
it's,
talking about.
it's like, holy shit, man. It's like, how did time get away from us?
Went by fast. That's what I'm saying. You have to be 30 years old just to get a role just to look like you're 18 now. Like,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that was the case back in the day as well.
It still holds up now. I mean,
seriously.
You have to look the part. You have to age just to look the part now.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous, honestly.
You must be one of the girls. Fixing up the old house way out there from campus.
You know about that?
Small town.
My mom used to live here.
She didn't tell you anything about the place where you're going?
No? Everything okay?
Yeah, everything. We made sure of it.
You guys really going off grid?
By the end of summer, we'll have moved all our electricity to solar and all our water to the well.
There's no internet?
No internet and no cell service either.
Hello?
I've got a lot of killing to make up for.
This can't be real.
Do I look like a figment of imagination to you? I want me gold.
Here's the thing my mom always said was real.
Her and her friends threw me down the well to rot.
There is a deranged dwarf obsessed with money in the kitchen.
It's a leprechaun.
He would murder anyone for his gold.
Why you look so sore? Audiences love lots of gore.
I spent last summer stopping poachers from killing sea turtles in Costa Rica. I can handle a bunch of pocket-sized pixies.
Well, also with a lot of the shit that they have younger characters doing in some of these movies, they need like over 18.
You know, it's funny. I saw with Spider-Man, actually, the new one, Tom Holland. There's pictures out, and there's this meme made about it. But I saw pictures of Tom Holland when he was like 15, and actually 15. Versus when he's in Homecoming when he is supposed to be 15. And he would not be able to... You couldn't take him seriously if he was actually 15. Looking at that little kid, he looks like a little 12-year-old, you know what I mean?
Smaller than he should be.
Right.
Exactly.
He pulls a 15-year-old off the way he is now in his 20s.
Exactly. And that's what exactly, you have to be older and more mature to play that role now, it seems.
When I see 18-year-olds now, it almost looks like they're fucking 12.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much, seriously.
He's like, did I look like I was 12 when I was 18? Because I drove around a Trans Am. Did I look like I was a 12-year-old driving a Trans Am around, dude?
12-year-old
So I look at that now, like...
I mean, shit, look at Jennifer Aniston in the first Leprechaun movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, how old was she in this? She was...
Probably early 20, like 21.
She couldn't... Yeah, she couldn't have been any older than 21.
No.
Yeah, but she doesn't age.
That's right. That's right. She doesn't age.
She's a more
Let me
like
tell you that
Tom
ass
Cruise.
doesn't age.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. Am I going to have to get Megan over here again?
Hey, I'm allowed to admire, okay?
Oh, my God.
I mean, hey, I don't know if there was much else that I could have stared at in the first Leprechaun movie other than Jennifer Aniston's ass. Robert, if you talk and you're not in the microphone, nobody's going to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, he's too busy putting in the third movie now.
Yeah,
we just finished the second.
Apparently, we're just gonna have a goddamn Leprechaun marathon.
There
now.
we go. Might as well keep it going.
Well, we have the first 7 movies here. We just watched the 8th one, so I mean, why not, right?
Shoot, why not?
Why the fuck not? So Robert, you grew up with this series.
We both did, I think so, right?
I didn't really watch Leprechaun back.
You were that sheltered.
I was actually pretty sheltered. I didn't get into horror until a little later on in life.
I was a 5-year-old when I put stuff like this on.
I can see that. I mean, the first movie, I mean, I don't even think a fucking 3 or 4-year-old would be that offended by it. They'd be kind of scared by it, but they'd also see it for how ridiculous it is.
Yeah,
Sheltered white boy.
You see, the first PlayStation just came out for me.
You shut up.
Are one to talk.
You are one to talk. You and
God.
Dakota.
Whatever.
Whoa.
Hey, at least you didn't get the Christian fundamentalist variation of it.
Whoa. The buttercream version of it?
Yeah, the buttercream version.
Oh, God.
The unrated buttercream. The extended buttercream version.
That kind of white bread.
Mayonnaise, carrots.
Yep. Mayonnaise and carrots.
Talking about the old mayonnaise before Miracle Whip.
I wouldn't even eat vegan mayonnaise at this point, honestly.
I don't know. I saw a mayonnaise poll the other day, and I was like, fucking white people.
Yeah, there's just that many white folk in this country.
Too many.
Dear Lord.
Too many Trump supporters. Yeah.
I mean,
oh man,
we're gonna go there.
Shots fired. Oh,
remember our No MAGA Allowed sign? Our sign what we're supposed to put on the door?
Oh yeah, we need to put that on the door.
Oh, the imaginary sign.
I can't. It's like we're getting this kind of political this quickly. It's like, my God.
No, we're good.
You know,
nobody's gonna do anything about nothing, so we all know that. So
politics of yesterday, it kind of was like people didn't want to get involved, but you know, in today's landscape, things are just so extreme. It's like
it's all talk.
Well, here's a good question. How about the Leprechaun series? How well do you think this stuff is aged, guys?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, look at the new movie. I mean, they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I mean,
they really did.
It actually still maintained the feel of the original movies.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. It brought back the early 90s, and I'm glad that you guys don't even fucking...
Honestly,
I'm glad that you guys don't hate it. I mean,
this is probably one of the best throwback to 90s slashers that there is, probably.
I mean, that might as well have been Warwick Davis. You know what I mean?
Oh,
the impression was spot on.
Yeah.
The professional.
Well, I mean, the reason that he wasn't in this movie is because apparently he had a child recently, and he just doesn't want to do horror movies.
Yeah,
that's respectable.
Yeah, that was on.
But that said, he's still really, really huge with going to horror conventions and interacting with the fans, and he straight up gets on his table that he's on his panel, and he'll straight up say all of the memorable quotes from the Leprechaun
He'll
series.
still quote lines like Q&As, yeah.
He will. I mean, I'm sure that he does more lines from Leprechaun than he does from Willow or anything like that.
Yeah,
which is a great movie.
I mean,
Willow is wonderful.
Is this really horror though? I mean,
it's horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd show it to my kid, you know.
Yeah. Once they're old enough, you could totally show this. I could probably show the first movie to my niece and be fine. Like, I mean, there's some instances where it'll be a little bloody, but like the pogo scene.
The pogo scene.
That's memorable.
Oh, my God. But, I mean, yeah.
Here he is. He's in a... Sorry, we're watching part 3, and it's...
I mean, there's not even any nudity in the first one, is there?
No, there's not.
And of course, there's no nudity in the Leprechaun Returns because it's on a television.
But there's titties in the second one.
There is titties in the second one, and the third one, if I recall.
Third one in Vegas, yeah, there is.
And what about 4? 4 had like sexual content, but I don't remember.
When the princess, remember?
Oh yeah, there was some brief. Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of a slasher trope in and of itself. You gotta have titties.
Yeah, gotta have just TNA, nudity, all that stuff.
It's part of it. I mean, you know, it's like so fan servicey. It's like watching an anime with fan service, and it's just great because you know, it's funny. Great
is a relative term these days.
I think it's hilarious.
It is, more or less, you know. Now, Robert, what did this series mean to you growing up? I mean, you're the one who chose this movie. You wrote the itinerary for everything.
No, I did not write the itinerary.
You did not?
No, I didn't.
Don't lie.
Okay.
Well, I pass. self.
Okay,
Your past self. Okay, is that are we bringing in like the multiverse here or something?
There we go. I'm Jet Li. I just killed myself off. Sorry.
I'll tell you what. I know it wasn't Beau because it wasn't Beau's childish handwriting.
Oh my gosh! Shut the fuck up.
His handwriting
and his rage
is awesome.
You can feel his personality.
I can see the I can see the testosterone.
You can.
The anger that goes in his handwriting.
Oh my god!
Of course, the Master of Disguise one was just destroyed with.
You're talking about anger. I would say more lackadaisicalness, more or less.
Oh, by the way, that was one of our check marks. And we talked about the rumor.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm going to start sanctioning people for bringing up that fucking movie, Master of Disguise. I mean, it's still out there in the rain right now. I threw it out the studio,
but it still somehow appears itself in your hands.
Does other
how does that happen?
Does other universe Robert remember that experience
of Leprechaun?
No, of Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I remember when it was the Choice Awards.
No,
that
is a trauma that spans generations. It echoes through time and through space.
Are you saying did I look forward when Master of Disguise came out?
Yeah.
Yes, I was one of those guys who looked forward to it.
Wow, he admitted it.
Is this Robert 616 speaking or Robert 1610?
It's the commercials sold everybody for that year. I remember that.
Yeah,
and I was still a kid. I was thinking it was gonna be the shit.
Turtle, bro.
But it fucking out. I was more interested in Mission Impossible 2. I remember that year.
Mission Impossible 2 was great.
Mission Impossible 2.
How do we make it from talking about this movie to Master of Disguise? What have we done?
I don't know. It's because you motherfuckers bring it up all the fucking time.
You're welcome, Beau.
We've done other bad movie reviews, and
I know, but that one is still stinging so badly.
Because I think it's the only movie we've done where we legitimately did not enjoy the experience.
Any of it, yes.
Seriously. I mean, we could actually enjoy Uwe Boll movies. I mean, there's something to be enjoyed there, but...
And Leprechaun is like... I want to say the bad movie elements have to be intentional, So it's a good movie.
So Leprechaun 3 in Vegas is where we're leaving off right now.
Leprechaun 3 in Vegas. Goddamn.
We got this kid driving his way from Los Angeles to Vegas.
You know what's interesting is, we just saw the second one, and now watching this third one, you've got two characters that look oddly similar to the characters.
That guy is the
kidding.
actor from the original Guyver, the first Guyver. Yeah.
See, but they had the same hairstyles.
And he's also the director from Need for Speed.
That guy's the director?
He's the director of Need for Speed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's the first Guyver.
Dude, I don't know if I remember watching the live-action Guyver series, but I do have the anime OVA. That's actually pretty decent.
The first Guyver movie was 81, and then you got Dark Heroes,
which
was a different Guyver actor.
Yeah, I
96, 95.
I remember the Guyver series being one of those ridiculously violent, like grotesquely violent anime from back in the day. The stuff that was like the good, hard shit.
Yeah.
That you had to either wait till late at night or early in the morning to watch. Like those were the fucking days when it meant something to be an anime nerd. I'm looking at you, Ash. No, I'm just playing.
I don't know what you're trying to insinuate here.
I'm insinuating this was before we had weeaboos.
Weeaboos?
Yes, weeaboos. Fuck.
Oh, you catching me, Lucky Charms?
The magically delicious. Well, I think that we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this episode up. We're going to go ahead and start with our final thoughts on this movie. Robert, do the damn thing.
My final thoughts on Leprechaun Returns and the whole franchise in general is need to start from 1, go down 1, 2, and 3. Watch them all. Watch them all when you get to in space. Watch them all. Leprechaun in the hood, back to the hood. Kind of skip Leprechaun Origins if you can.
Right.
Okay. I mean, you don't need to see that one.
I mean, that's like the Rob Zombie Halloween's kind of.
Yeah, we don't need to see Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, I liked the order that we showed us. See, we watched the first one, and then we watched the new one.
Yeah.
Leprechaun Returns. And it was interesting to see, the continuation, how they perfectly did that with him falling in the well, and then they're bringing it back in their own rendition.
See, you should have been there for Halloween, because we did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
we did, actually. We started with the reboot, not really a reboot, but the new one.
Part 2, pretty much.
It's like a soft reboot, just like Leprechaun Return
A
is.
fan film, if you will, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, we started with that one, and then we went and we watched Halloween 1 and 2. You guys showed me.
Yeah. Robert, do you think that this is a fan film? Do you think that this qualifies?
I don't really think it's a fan film. I think it's just it's not a reboot. It's more of a continuation. It's part 2. Yeah, pretty much.
I kind of feel like there's some kind of homage to 90s slashers.
It brought back the 90s.
There's definitely a 90s vibe to it,
And,
kind of.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. They set the tone for the early 90s again. Yeah.
Certainly.
They might as well have brought back Warwick Davis, you know?
Yeah, it would have been so perfect. I think he would have put a lot of love into this movie if he would have performed.
Right. Well, my point is that, he would have been an awesome choice for it, but I think having our actor, and they really did a good job with the impression. They really might as well have brought him back because it's the same thing. They did a great job.
How Superman Returns, that actor impersonated.
Oh yeah,
his impression was Christopher Reeves.
Right.
That was spot on.
It was spot on, bro.
It was pretty much the Christopher Reeves version of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy Wiseau's Joker channels Heath Ledger's Joker.
Totally. All right, Ash, what are your final thoughts on Leprechaun Returns?
What can I say about this, or what can I say about these films as a whole? Because it's got another level of ridiculous quality to it. It's just so entertaining. It's hilarious. Obviously, if you are a fan of the slasher genre, this will appeal to you because a lot of those movies are just as ridiculous. But this one, I guess, in a way, embraces it even more, even from the very beginning. It's about a fucking leprechaun.
Yeah.
And Leprechaun Returns.
No, God, no! Leave me alone! No!
Papa!
We killed you 25 years ago. You're dead.
25 years? You're looking a little worse for wear, my boy. If you don't take care of your body. It won't take care of you. There once was a lad they thought died. His flesh had melted off his whole hide. But he escaped from the well alive and quite swell. And now he'll be killing in stride.
Has that cheesy feel, but with the modern production values. And that's really interesting. It's almost an interesting juxtaposition, except it works perfectly, in my opinion, here.
Like, have you ever really seen very many, 90s slasher movies?
Well, since I've been, doing this thing with you guys, I've been exposed to a few more. Well, I guess you haven't shown me any 90s slasher, necessarily.
Not really. 90s slashers being like Scream, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, stuff like that.
You guys haven't shown me any of the 90s slashers
We'll start
yet.
you off with Scream. Yeah.
See, I only lived for 5 years in the 90s, so.
All right, Dakota, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
If you're going to watch Returns, watch the first one. Definitely watch the first one. I think that was a good way of doing it because you really get to see what's going on and why he comes back. You get more detail on, Ozzy's character. And
I love that they brought
context.
Of course.
Back, dude.
That was perfect. That was the perfect
great.
character to bring back.
At least bring back one original character.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They could have brought back the kid that said, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms."
That would have been fun.
That would have been.
Alex?
Or show him kind of he never really left left his hometown. He's just kind of still there, kind of like Ozzy.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of.
And they still pretty much have that
Banter.
that preternatural relationship, more or less.
That would have been perfect. I bet they just couldn't get a hold of him or
Probably.
something.
That would have been a good place to really start. But once again, it still had that 90s slasher vibe with all the younger actors and actresses here.
Oh man, I could see a perfect scene whenever he's a ghost in the basement, and they had both died prior, because I'm sure they would have killed both of them off, and having them both down in the basement as ghosts and bantering back and forth about where the gold's at, and that would have been fun. But they can't actually talk, so it would have been like all charade.
Yeah, that's right. There's that one moment where Ozzy is pretty much just playing charades with Homegirl. Yeah.
And recaps the events of the first film, or the ending, about how they killed the leprechaun. If you watch his motions and you've seen the first film, you'll understand it. That's why she just looks and she goes, "I have no idea what you're saying."
Yeah.
So you think that's maybe a commentary on younger Generation Z types who maybe haven't seen these movies?
I feel like there was almost too much commentary on that.
Yeah.
It's like this movie tried really hard to show a lot of the millennial / Gen Z technological aspects.
Yeah.
Snapchat and that Instagram knockoff.
Yeah, for sure.
See, again, the trademarks are okay to say. I think you just can't show them.
Yeah,
with the
for
Lucky
sure.
Charms. I don't know.
With the Lucky Charms, yeah, the Lucky Clover.
Yeah, and in this case, they said Snapchat, but then they changed the Instagram to Funstagram or something.
Yeah, and also there was the fact that the leprechaun was taking selfies with these people.
That was hilarious.
That was the best part, where everybody sees him for the first time, and they're and they just want to take a selfie with, and he does it.
Yeah, he just goes with it. He just leans into it. It's hilarious. And I think he makes a couple of other comments. He makes a comment about the smartphones. A Walkman with a camera. How impressive.
And then at the same time, he makes all these pop culture references that if he wasn't even aware of a smartphone, I don't know how he would have gotten those.
Yeah, he's been incapacitated for 25 fucking years.
Yeah.
Which in the first one, they actually have a time skip as well. It's a lot
10 years.
of 10 years, yeah. And that's all in the first movie. They started off with, a character, which they bring back later, but, half dead.
It's like he spent all of the 80s
in
a crate.
But yeah, he spent all the 80s in a crate with the
leading
clover
up-
sitting on
leading
top.
up to 1991.
Right, exactly.
Jesus.
Which is a really interesting way to give the character a backstory, and you kind of learn about it, They even say that he brought the leprechaun from Ireland. They even mentioned that.
Oh, he followed him. He was in his suitcase.
That's what it was, his suitcase.
He followed the gold.
That little son of a bitch.
And he had mailed the gold in an urn all the way back to the States from Ireland.
Yep.
Fuck. That's all it takes. It's just one asshole, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just one asshole to screw everything up, right?
It's like the one idiot that creates the traffic jam. It's just one asshole that
It just
did
takes
it.
one dumb
Yep.
motherfucker.
One asshole who breaks too hard, usually. Honestly, with traffic, if you just, not ride on people's asses, there would be no traffic.
If you maintain 2 car lengths like we're supposed to,
There would literally be no traffic.
Oh, but who's got time for that? This is Texas, goddammit.
they can't even drive the speed limit. They have to pass me up in a 2-way road
Didn't you get a
just to
ticket
go
for that
5 miles
once?
over the speed limit.
I'm sorry, I thought you got a ticket for that once.
I got a ticket for passing in a no pass zone.
Were they going slow?
They were going slow.
Okay, fine. I guess that's understandable.
But what I don't understand is when you have to pass somebody and I'm going the speed limit. Why do you
Yeah.
need to go faster than the speed limit to the
Right.
point that you have to pass me? I don't know.
I feel you. I feel that.
Just let them get the ticket, bro.
Right?
On
yeah.
a 2-way road, so you're facing oncoming traffic. I don't know.
Yeah, those sons of bitches. God damn it.
We just always go off on tangents. Sorry.
Yeah, once again, another tangent that has nothing to do with movies.
Yeah, well.
Fuck.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms. We failed, ladies and gentlemen. We failed.
We failed.
What about your final thoughts, Beau?
My final thoughts is it's an enjoyable franchise altogether. It's once again a really great drinking and smoking kind of series.
Yeah.
Maybe except for Leprechaun Origins, you know.
Could you make a drinking game out of this?
Oh, I'm sure that there are drinking games of this online. If you really go and you look for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they have that.
Just go on Reddit.
I mean, I love Warwick Davis. I love his performance. I mean, he pretty much made the Leprechaun character what it is, and he set the standard for this future performance here from this new actor.
Yeah, you gotta drink every time he makes a pun.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Or every time he rhymes.
Every time he rhymes. Little
just
singy-songy.
one-liners.
Right. Every one-liner.
Seriously, every one-liner, any time the 4-leaf clover is mentioned or something like that.
Chug on Hammer Time.
Oh, God.
Oh, God damn it. That fucking joke. But yeah, this is a fun series to watch. I recommend buying all 7 movies on the DVD package. Robert has this package.
You can find that at Walmart.
Certainly.
There you go.
All 7.
Yeah. And honestly, just, don't take it with a grain of salt. It's a series that's meant to be taken just as fun bullshit,
Yeah, that's the point.
Very much so.
Come on out, play me, friends.
And with that, we're going to wrap things up. You can find Collateral Cinema on iTunes. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us wherever else you get your podcast. Download the Chill Lover Radio app, and you can find us on there. They have thousands of podcasts. They have thousands of platforms that you can find them on. Check them out.
And you can get paid to listen to podcasts while using the Podcoin app.
There you go.
Which Collateral Cinema is also on. And also Collateral Gaming.
And you can use the promo code Collateral to get 300 coins upon registration as well.
Yeah, and for Collateral Gaming, we have the code Collateral Pod. If I may insert self-promo.
Of course.
Collateral Gaming is doing The Last of Us.
Right now, we're still playing
Next
it, and
week.
we're about to record it, which looks like I'll be leading that one.
Yeah, Dakota's going to take the lead on this next episode. You can find Collateral Gaming everywhere you find Collateral Cinema. We like to stagger our episodes. Also, in other news, I just got married.
Woo! Married, and also a baby about to pop here pretty soon, right?
Yeah, which may affect the Collateral Gaming schedule. But I want to try to finish out the season, get our season finale out.
Yeah.
So let's hope that baby doesn't come out too early, huh?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We may have to pre-record.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Like
Whatever
we pre-recorded the Princess Bride season finale.
Yeah, that's right. We pre-recorded our season finale with our special guest Megan Price.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So that's out. That'll be, we've already got that recorded, so we'll have it out and ready for you guys. But later, what are we doing next time, Beau?
Next time is a movie that I've really, really, really been anticipating because I want to show you motherfuckers this movie because you are going to freak. Like, you guys thought that Ichi the Killer was disturbing. You thought that was disturbing.
Martyrs, right?
This is Martyrs.
Oh, God.
Pascal Laguerre's 2008 extreme French cinema movie. And it's horror to the max, guys. Yeah, you guys are going to be in for a ride here.
Sounds exciting.
This is a movie that, much like Audition and Eraserhead and Gummo before us, they're kind of placed on most disturbing movie lists. Like it's part of Horrible Reviews, disturbing movie video series. And it's going to be really interesting to talk to y'all about this because the ending is really deep. It'll leave you kind of silent for a little bit. And, I'm looking forward to showing it to you guys. We got to do it as soon as possible.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's a fucking phenomenal movie. It's an important movie. It's still talked about in horror and in cinemaphile circles. Like it's going to be great to talk to you guys about it, honestly, and show you guys this movie.
We'll be right back at it with you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, and it is going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait. Oh, I have so many more disturbing movies to show you guys. I have sights to show you throughout this podcast. So, yeah, y'all have that to look forward to.
Can't wait. I always look forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, with all of that said, I'm Beau Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Dakota Chancellor.
And eat a dick.
Collateral Cinema is out, and Ash sucks. Asshole.
Eat a deck.
Robert Ortegon.
Ass Baggins.
Collateral Cinema is an L Company production. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.